from Simple Life Pattern Company. Today I'm going to show you how to do the burrito roll method. If you like this video and would like to see more tutorials, please subscribe to our channel. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Simple Life Patterns. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, to get started with our burrito roll method, we are going to separate our main fabric and our lining fabric at the shoulder seam. So flip this that way and then take your lining and flip it under. So now you have your shoulder seam spread apart right here. Now from this end, you will come in and take both your main and your lining together and begin to roll it to the shoulder seam. Okay, once it's there, you can take your lining and flip it over, matching the armhole curves. You can use pins to secure it in place, and you will use a stretch stitch and go ahead and sew along the shoulder or the armhole seam. Let's go to the machine. Okay, we are now at my machine. I'm going to go ahead and pin this in place just to make sewing it a little bit easier. What you'll need when you're sewing this is a stretch stitch, and I like to lengthen it to, to 3 millimeters is what I like to use. It's the one that has the 3 little dashed lines, and this is great for knits. It gives a little wiggle room without popping your stitches if your kids are anything like mine and just put it on over their head or over their waist or however they feel they can. Okay, so using a 3/8 inch seam allowance, I'm going to go ahead and sew the armhole curve. When you get closer to your center where your roll is, you want to make sure that your roll is pushed out of the seam allowance. You do not want to catch any of that while you're sewing your 2 curved pieces. If that gets stuck in there, you will have to seam rip it, and seam ripping triple stretch stitch is no fun. Okay, once you have that sewn, go ahead and give this little curve right here just a few little snips so that it helps turn out beautifully and flat. Do the same thing on this side. Just a couple little clips is all it takes. Okay, let's go back to our work area. Okay, I'm back, and I went ahead and sewed along the armhole curve, and I even did a couple clips in the curves just so it lays nice and flat when we're done. Same thing as last time. Separate your main and your lining and begin to pull through. Remember not to let too much bulk get into the shoulder seam when you're pulling through because you don't want to pop any stitches. And there you go. Now your armholes are beautifully encased inside the bodice and the lining, the main and the lining. So now we need to sew our side seams together, and we want those to be enclosed inside the bodice as well for a very nice, clean, professional look and no seams to really bother kids. So you're going to start by taking your main and your lining and separating them. You'll do the same thing with the back. So go ahead and take that and flip that up. Okay, so now you have your main, lining, main. All you need to do is from one end, bring that and bring it all the way down to the other end. So your main fabrics will be right sides together and your lining fabrics will be right sides together. I should have brought my pins over here. It would have been a lot easier to get the final look. So once you have your side seams all matched up, you want to make sure that these seams match up and your bottoms, and go ahead and stitch along your side seams. You'll do that on both sides. So using a 3/8 inch seam allowance, my stretch stitch at 3 millimeters. And just begin to sew. Okay, we are going to go ahead and repeat the same process on the other side, making sure that these seams are matched up and nested.